I just found it really pathetic, I guess, that Jimmy Kimmel couldn't even apologize fully last night. I watched the clip this morning and I thought, if my child had done something wrong, or my spouse or a coworker that was and gave me that sort of apology, I would absolutely not believe in any way, shape, or form that they felt like they had done wrong. I mean, I just really feel like Kimmel could have gone a little bit, not even the script that we read earlier from that tweet, but just some sort of acknowledgement of, hey, yeah, I got this wrong, my mistake, I shouldn't have said that, something to that effect. I know there was a political angle to it at this point where he's got to stand up to Trump and the FCC, but I don't know, that was just my one thought. My second thought is, this is for really anybody, I guess. I live here in Texas, so the big discussion is the Senate primary between Cornyn and Paxton. I saw the story this morning that Cornyn picked up 15 endorsements from other GOP House, but then I'm getting text messages from Wesley Hunt. And so my question, I guess, for the group is there any
Wait,
possibility of Hunt
what are the
jumping
text
in?
messages from Wesley saying?
Just, my name is Wesley Hunt. I've worked for Donald Trump. Text now or call now and say thanks for working with Donald Trump. Um, which
They
I
run.
mean, yeah,
Uh,
in veiled terms, which when I was in 2018 in midterms and I was volunteering, I met him then. So I know who he was. I did. But is there any possibility of him jumping in and trying to sell himself to the White House as sort of the unity candidate between the Paxton parts of the Texas primary and the Cornyn parts of the Texas primary?
yes, there's a possibility, but I believe Trump will either endorse Cornyn or stay neutral, and that Cornyn will win the nomination. And the endorsements he got today were from former House Republicans, not current, but still a nice list, nice roster of folks. Sean, comments on that or Grant's first points?
Uh, I'm sorry. I got wrapped up in the text.
Kimmel. He asked about Kimmel
Oh
and
yeah.
Kimmel's
I mean,
lack of
look. As
apology.
I said, I totally agree with you, Grant. I mean, look. I believe every. I mean, how you frame this is perfect. You either apologize and say, "I screwed up. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this," or "I went too far." Whatever it is, and that's fine. We all do it. I've done it a lot. Or you weasel out of it, as I said, and you say, "I'm sorry if you're offended," which is then don't even bother. And I thought what he did last night was actually made it worse. And he drew the battle lines even thicker for the two sides. Because to me, you're going to come back on. Don't invoke Erika's name and her attempt at forgiveness if you're not even going to go the same way. I found it actually kind of offensive what he did last night, and so I think he made it worse. It was pathetic in that sense. The idea that he tried to gaslight us by saying, "I never tried to make something out of this man's assassination." That's not what it was about. He lied about who the shooter was. He
Yeah.
tried to blame a side and knew that it wasn't true at the time. That's the issue. And I think so he is rightly being called out for it. On your other point, look, I think Wesley is trying to sell himself to some degree or test the waters and see if there's stuff there. What I have been impressed, I will say, by what Cornyn has done to close the gap. We'll see how this works. I don't believe we'll get to a point where Trump will endorse him. I would find it a hard bridge to cross for the Trump team, and Trump knows that. But crazier things have happened.
Just,
We'll see.
just,
But that one
just,
to me, I'm fascinated by it.
just you wait. Don't forget that two people working for John Cornyn are Chris LaCivita and Tony Fabrizio, and the data in that race has shown Cornyn closing
Oh,
really
I agree.
dramatically.
No. I think Cornyn, like I said, he's done a fantastic job closing
Yeah,
the.
yeah,
But I just think that there's enough.
yeah,
There are enough issues that I
yeah.
don't know if
I
we can pull it
there
off.
are there are issues, not a sure thing. Dan,
Yeah, so I'll defer to them on Texas. On Kimmel, I think, look, Grant, I agree with Sean, and my MO is when you screw up, you own it, you apologize, you swallow your medicine, and you move on. I think one of the things, though, is one of the things that the left has kind of looked at and pulled their hair out the last 10 years is that Trump never apologizes for anything, ever, right? It is always a front foot, counterattack and distract. And so what Kimmel did last night, whatever I think of it, to a lot of Democrats, they applauded. Don't back down. You didn't actually mean that. You were talking about something else. Again, you and I can disagree about that. You can say that enrages me. But whether it's Gavin Newsom or others, Democrats are now like, you know what? We can't beat Trump. Copy him. Copy his tactics, copy his strategies. Do not apologize or you're a wimp.
Yeah. Grant, thank you.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.